Hello, friends. Mark here. Okay, we just hit the reset button, and hopefully that is better as far as the sound on here. Had to reboot the computer. Unfortunately, OBS sent a software updated it, and it changed all the settings and stuff for it. You know, me, I should just stuck with the good old school stuff that I normally have, and then I probably wouldn't have a problem. So, let's get back on topic. At some point here, E2 Blue should be actually calling in as well, so he can add to the discussion. Back to Dak Prescott. Okay, here's the thing. I know I have been deemed a Dak Prescott lover. I am blind faith and everything else, but here's the reality. Dak's our quarterback. Tony Romo's gone. Jason Witten's gone. Dez Bryant's gone. We've changed up coaching staff, and hopefully I pray that Kelvin Moore is the guy. But hopefully, Dak Prescott now has that Tony Romo friendly offense, and that we see changes. Now, that's just kind of some BS. Let's be honest with you. As far as Aaron Rodgers, okay, well, you know what? He may end up. Well, I'm not sure he'll get Aaron Rodgers money. He's definitely gonna get paid because when Alex Smith can get 75 million guaranteed, when Matt Ryan, who was really Tony Romo, can get 100 million guaranteed, it's the going rate for quarterbacks. You can't expect your quarterback to be, underpaid and going to take $10 million when the going rate is 25, 30. I mean, let's be honest. Kirk Cousins. Look at the contract. Kirk Cousins. Would you rather have Kirk Cousins than Dak Prescott? And I know some of you say, "Yeah, I'll take Kirk Cousins," but think about it. Dak Prescott has beat Kirk Cousins 4 games in a row. And even when you look at the numbers, and I put this up and people didn't believe me, of Dak Prescott versus Aaron Rodgers head to head, Dak Prescott's numbers are actually better. He's had more touchdowns between the one rushing and the passing touchdowns. 7-5. Defense couldn't stop Aaron Rodgers, of course. And in the first half of last year, Dak Prescott played pretty well. Zeke Elliott, by far and away, was not the guy last year that he was the year before. All these things are all parts of the reason why this offense did bad. If you look at the picture from the beginning of this live stream of the 6 sacks that Claiborne gave him, I don't know of anybody who has won being sacked 9 times. I didn't look at every single one of those games, but I can tell you, more times than not, even Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, when those guys have all been sacked 9 or more times, Ben Roethlisberger, they lost. You don't win games when you do that. And I know a lot of people will say, well, if they're successful this year, it's only because of Zeke Elliott. Take a look around at all the rushing champions. How many times have you seen them win Super Bowls or have them have a great quarterback that was a Pro Bowler? They don't. Usually you have a great passer or a great running game. 2016, we had both. Am I concerned, Sandman, about defensive tackle? Hell yes, I'm concerned about defensive tackle. You know me, I've been screaming for years that we need more bigger defensive linemen, without a doubt. And unfortunately, Malik Collins, okay. I thought that was going to happen. Eli Manning, okay, this is going to be interesting. Eli Manning has just settled his lawsuit. It was supposed to start today, jury hearing, and I said this morning, I'm surprised that this wasn't settled because it just looks bad. It's better to go ahead and say, let me just pay somebody some money and let this thing go away as opposed to going to trial. Now, here's where it's interesting. Does that hurt Eli Manning's standing? Because here it is. If you settled, E2, how are you doing tonight, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Man, you are the one that's going on tonight, man. Eli Manning has just settled his lawsuit. You know what lawsuit I'm talking about?
You talking about from
Fraud.
the good old
Yeah,
fraud?
the fraud hearing. Yes, he has settled it. So Eli Manning, does that hurt his standing as Mr. Good Guy? Because I'm sitting here thinking about when Dak Prescott. Remember last year when Dak Prescott, when it was rumored that he had some autographing
Copying
machine and he
his
was copying his
yeah.
own autograph? I was one of those ones that were like, what? So he's up at midnight forging his own signature, right?
Like who does that? Like,
Of course, of course, Dallas Cowboys have to be doing something like that. Of course, Dallas
you,
Cowboys.
you already know when you wear that star on your helmet, you already know you're gonna be the face of anything that's controversy.
Right. Well, so here it is. He's admitted to, or I've got to see the whole results. But if he's settled, basically he's saying, okay, it's true. Here's some money. Go away.
I did it basically, yeah.
Right.
Um,
So,
I look at it like this: Giant fans are not going to look at him no differently. I don't know about outside perceptions, but it doesn't matter. He's got maybe what 1, 2 more years left of his career. He's getting ready to retire. I
well,
mean, he's on his way
since
out.
the
So I
Giants
mean, I'm
didn't get
not.
a quarterback, they better be hoping that it's more than just 1 or 2 years. Because,
I, I know,
well,
right?
okay, yeah, later
But
in the,
but look, they think that Saquon Barkley and Will Hernandez is going to save the whole team.
yeah,
Great pickups,
okay.
but you still need. I mean, they didn't. There were so many holes and gaps that they didn't fill in the draft that they could have. Like you said, they could have got another quarterback. There were a lot. There were some there waiting for them, and they just was like, you know what? We believe in Eli.
All right. Well, here's the thing.
This is thinking Giants fan.
Here's the question for tonight because Leon sent me a link from First Things First. You know, the Cowboy haters extraordinaire. And I'll be honest, the Cowboys, we have not done a lot in the last 23 years. So, you know, we should be taking some flack here. But they basically said that the Dallas Cowboys are not capable of making a run to the Super Bowl. And they pointed out the numbers of over the last 5 years that they're basically close to 500 and that they're a long ways because they pointed out that the Giants, they're not always going to be bad. And of course, the Redskins got better. And I'm sitting here thinking, in your mind,
There's some bias in that.
well, there's some bias in there. Okay, basically they said that 2014 and 2016 we weren't a contender for the Super Bowl. Winning, being
So
having
did
home
they
field.
did they not watch our 13-3 season?
They said that over the last few years that that they said that we have not been a Super Bowl caliber team, that we weren't capable of it. And I'm kind of like, wait a minute, yes, if you take the last 5 years, but if you take the last 3 years, I believe we are 29 and 19. Am I right about that? Somewhere around
Yeah,
in there.
yeah, somewhere in there. But I'll tell you this: the thing with the Cowboys is it's. I would say that we're not far off, but we're not that close either. And I say that to say that we have the tools to succeed, but
Yeah.
there's pieces and there's missing gaps in between. There's minor tweaks that need to be done to
Oh,
make it
without a
happen.
doubt.
Because if you look at what we do, look at how the record's going. You got 13-3. You got two back-to-back 8-8 seasons. Then you
Three,
have
three, three, 8 and 8 seasons back to back.
three, yeah, three, 13-3. Then you have the 9-7 from last season.
And well,
So
and you had
we're there.
the 4-12
We're,
without Tony Romo.
well, yeah, well, but you already know what happened that year.
Yeah.
But again, our biggest thing on this team is depth. That's what we needed. And I feel like this year, if they pick the right players, and I think that some of these undrafted players are going to be good. I mean, I've been seeing some of them, their sizes. We've never really had big DBs, and some of
No.
these undrafted players are huge. Now, whether that translates to the football field, we'll find out in training camp. But they just have to do a better job of getting the right pieces in the right places.
Well,
And I
here,
think that once we get that right depth, this because that's how the Eagles won the Super Bowl. They
true.
had depth, and they
That's true.
actually it takes more than 11 players to win the game. You gotta utilize every player that you have that's available to play. It's like a puzzle. Every piece has its spot. If one piece is out of whack, it's not. It's
There
gonna
you
throw the
go.
whole line off.
Well, okay. Here's my thing. First of all, I'm happy that they're saying we're going to suck because every time we are expected to do something,
We have a good season.
no, when we're expected to do something, we seems like we fall on our face.
No. I'm talking about when they
Oh, right.
criticize,
Yeah,
say that we're
because I
not
mean,
doing it.
remember after the catch no catch, everybody was like, "Oh, the Cowboys, they're built for the long haul," and down the toilet, and then of
Yeah,
course, 2016. Oh man, Rookie of the Year, quarterback Zeke Elliott, best offensive line in football. The Cowboys are going to be great, down the toilet.
down the
So
toilet.
that's what always happens because last year was like, oh, the Green Bay Packers, the Seattle Seahawks, they're going to be great, down the toilet.
Down the toilet.
And here comes the Rams. So, it's always the big hype. So right now, everybody's on the Eagles bandwagon and watch they're going to down the toilet. They're going to come back down to earth because I keep telling you guys, and you keep saying I just hate the Eagles. It's not about hating the Eagles. I'm telling you what the trends are.
And I'm gonna tell you this too.
Even after the Giants won the Super Bowl 2 times, they didn't win the division the next year.
When it comes to the Eagles too, also too, Wentz is a big player in that
Oh yeah, and I think he's going to hurry
his
himself to get
availability.
back. And I think that there's going to be a quarterback controversy there. But here's what I feel good about. Okay, and maybe I know I wear rose-colored glasses. I know I've been hit in the head too many times and had the concussions and stuff. But here's what I know. Dak was not great by any stretch of the imagination last year. Okay? First half, he was a lot better than the second half. Still had 22 touchdown passes, still had 6 rushing TDs. That's still 28. But it was not Dak Prescott. Zeke Elliott missed 6 games because of suspension, and once he was in, his mind was not quite right.
I tell you,
Okay?
and people keep forgetting too. Remember when he hurt his hand too? That plays a
Oh,
factor in
right.
it
Yeah.
too.
Nobody mentions about his hand. Yeah, because he did jack his hand up too. That did. I think that made a difference. I forgot all about that. Thank you, because I'm getting forgetful. So you had those dynamics. You lost Tyron Smith, and your backup was Chaz Green. Okay. You had Sean Lee, who literally every time he went out, it was another 100 yards he gave up. You had rookie defensive backs that couldn't get on the field till midseason. With all of that, we were still 9-7, right?
Yeah, yeah. Which lets you know
So,
right there that we have the talent.
a lot
Again,
of
like I said, it goes back to pieces. Goes
right.
back to depth.
Yeah. So you went through, you addressed depth. Your offensive line should be better than it was last year. Your defensive backs should be better because they have a year of experience underneath of them. You got a
Yeah,
linebacker, hopefully that'll be able to play. And now Jalen Smith is not wearing a brace. I've said all along, Jalen Smith has the instincts, but the problem is that he was on one leg last year. If that foot
yeah.
really is healed, you may have something special again because the way he played before the injury, you could see him. It's kind of like in my mind, I still know how to play football, but the body just won't get there. And that's what
Right,
it
right,
looked
right.
like when you were watching him. You could see he was going to the right spot, but couldn't get there and deliver that blow. If that foot is healed, all of a sudden, then that looks a whole lot better. And we don't need major things to happen. We only need a couple more games to be in that conversation, right? Am I wrong on that?
Agreed. Agreed.
Because when they're talking about
Now,
the Giants were 6 games worse than us. They have to get markedly better. And I'm not saying that, I hate to say this, but the team in the basement usually ends up winning the division the next year. I did.
I don't think that's gonna happen this
I
year.
don't think it's going to happen this year either because I still think Eli Manning is a turnover machine that hits for the dirt the first sign of trouble. They made some improvements in the offensive line, but I still think that they're still in a big rebuild mode.
Now, if they're not hampered with injuries, I think that they'll definitely win more games than they did last year. But I still don't think that they're good enough to win this season. I mean, win the division. I think it's still between us and the Eagles.
I agree with you on that one. Now,
But I'm not, and I got to give the Redskins their just due too. Oh, I hate to say that, but I mean they definitely strengthened their defensive line. So
yeah, well, we always hear about the Redskins strengthening their defensive line, but it doesn't seem to work out for whatever reason. I mean, they always end up getting players and stuff, and next thing you know, still same old skins. We'll have to wait and see how that works. I don't know that Alex Smith is going to be answered. I'm actually thinking that Alex Smith is going to be going downhill real quick, but that's
I'm
just me.
I'm 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 still scratching my head on that one. Like, why did they even get him
That was
and
money.
paid him all that
Bottom line,
money?
it was money because they could save money on Kirk Cousins. We know how the Washington Redskins are. They actually finally had a quarterback and didn't know what to do with them. We'll just let them go. We'll just put anybody in there. And I think they're going to end up regretting that one because I don't think Alex Smith is going to be around for 4 years like they're thinking. But we'll have to wait and
Mm.
see. And I don't care about the dumpster fire that is the Washington Redskins. Now, are you of the mindset that with Jason Witten gone and Dez Bryant now gone, that the Cowboys don't have any receivers to throw to?
No, I don't believe that.
That's what all the talking heads and all the experts out there are saying is that the Cowboys don't have anybody to throw to. And I'm sitting here like, okay, yeah, Dez
They're
still.
paid to say that. You got
Well,
to understand that
Dez,
they're paid to say these
800, hold
crazy
it, we're
things
only talking about
because
800,
they want to
838
throw.
yards.
They're just throwing the bait out there. That's what they're doing. They want that controversy out there so people can talk about it. So people can be like, oh, did you hear what uh such and such said? Did you hear what Stephen A. Smith said? Did you hear what
True.
uh
And we do take
Shannon
the bait.
Sharp said? And
We
this is the
do
thing, like
take the
that's
bait.
they do that for ratings. They do that so people can tune in. They want people talking about it. And I'm not saying that they necessarily feel that way, but again, they get paid for what they do, and the more and more they spice up a story, that's what's going to sell, and that's what media is all about. See, I got my degree in broadcast communication, so like I know about all about how that realm works, and like I said, it's all about the capital, brother. But as far as the young guys go, I'm actually high on them, and I did a video talking about some of them. I think that we forget about Deontay Thompson. This guy is a deep threat. I was watching some of his old tape from the pros
Pause,
and stuff.
pause for 1 second here. I've got to answer an Eagle troll who now feels entitled because they've won a Super Bowl. He's talking about old ass Super Bowls. I wasn't even born then. You know, you guys just a few months ago were talking about those titles, okay? Those world championships from 1960 in the 40s, okay? Come on, man.
Talk about
Get rid.
something that doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I had to go ahead and respond to it. Who still watches sports TV? I think most people watch YouTube now. Thank God. Thank you guys. In fact, congratulations on hitting 1,000 subscribers already, man.
Oh yeah, man, that was big. Like I'm really humbled. I mean, for me to just had actually start my channel in February, right after the Super Bowl. I
In
think
the
my
off
first
season.
video was like on the halftime of the Super Bowl. Like, I mean,
Wow.
just
Yeah.
seeing the growth from then to now, like I'm really humbled, man. I appreciate all the subscribers, man. You guys have been awesome.
Um, Jackie Smith, I don't watch ESPN. First Take, Undisputed, just our boys. Oh, thank you, Jackie. We appreciate you with giving us all the support. Gary Johnson, don't sleep on Jalen Smith. I really feel like he's going to see a lot more swipes. Well, you know what? Like I said, he has the instincts. The question was going to be if that foot was there. Okay, so I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt
So
you
so
from your point.
so back to what I was saying. So I'm looking at guys like Deontay Thompson, Allen Hurns.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of know what they can do. We just haven't seen them in this offense. And I'm like I said, I'm going by what he's done.
Right.
He's a quick guy. He catches the ball deep, and a lot of his passes and the touchdowns that he had with both the Bears and the Bills have been on deep balls. Now, I look at what Sanjay Law and what he's saying and the things that he's implementing right now. I think that that's good for young guys like Michael Gallup and Cedric Wilson
Mm-hmm.
because get these guys in the game and getting their footwork and their technique right. I feel like what he's saying is true. If you're running Chris routes, the ball is going to be there.
Right. Yeah, now, you guys, Law Nation, my man E2 Blue here. Um, DMV Dallas Cowboys, Michael Anthony, Clarence missing in action and all that, and Foots. We have actually like uh, we call it the Cowboys conglomerate, where it's basically like a giant text between all of us and stuff. And we were having a discussion today, and me and Foots are going to have a debate because he's still upset about Dez Bryant, I believe, being released and all that. But Sanjay kind of threw some shade at Dez Bryant. At least I didn't originally look at it that way, but that's what Foots was kind of talking about. Do you think he kind of threw shade at Dez Bryant on his abilities and route running and things?
Well, before I tell you my opinion, I think what Foots was trying to say was more of that. if you didn't want Dez to be here, if he's not here anymore, the conversation shouldn't be had about talking bad about him because he's gone. Normally, when teams cut a player, they don't speak on it. And I said this in our group chat. When Green Bay got rid of Jordy Nelson, do you see them talking about Jordy Nelson?
Well, but here's the
Some
thing.
people even forgot that he wasn't even on the team
And
anymore.
partially,
They,
but see, here's the thing. You got to remember, we're talking about Dallas Cowboys.
but they've never done that with
But
a
see,
player. I don't remember them doing that with a
I'll
player
be honest.
before, outside of
I
Jimmy.
don't even know where Jordy Nelson went. Do you?
He went to the Raiders.
Okay, to the Raiders. Okay, but here's the thing. Every day we have the Dez Bryant watch. I heard rumors of Seattle. I heard rumors of Green Bay. I hear everybody talking about how much the Cowboys are going to miss him. So it's always there. And I'm wondering if that was one of those things that people came through and said, well, how are you going to make it without Dez Bryant? Why, what did you see from the film from Dez Bryant? Because sometimes you get set up. And I don't know because I didn't see the whole interview or anything like that. You get kind of set up and you say something and all of a sudden it becomes blown up a lot more than what it really is. But
I don't think that he was necessarily disrespecting. I think he was just saying that, hey, we saw some inconsistencies in his play.
mhm,
You paid him what 70 mil for that total contract
right,
because of what he was getting paid. Your inconsistencies didn't match what you were getting paid. So
right.
basically, he was
Yeah,
saying that
and I
like
agree with that.
you shouldn't be dropping the ball as much as you were. And granted, I know that Dak wasn't always getting the ball in the right spot to him. That has a factor in it too. But again, still, you as the caliber of a player that you are should be a better route runner and make sure that you're in the right place for Dak. Now, he also said that Dez was the best short route runner. He
Right.
also said that he was great at the jump ball and the back shoulder fake. Now he gave him props on that. And
Mhm.
again, he also criticized T. Will and Cole Beasley, but the difference is with them, he was basically talking like, look, their problems I can fix.
Right.
So, which
Yeah.
leads me to
So
believe
he
that
wasn't really.
he
I
wants
don't
them
think he
on the
was
team.
really trying to cut him down.
He's got a plan for them. I don't think that
Right.
he was trying to break the boy down. I think he was just saying that he was kind of just kindly answering the question, like, "Hey, this is the reason why he's not here anymore." And you pay a guy that much money, you expect him to play a certain way. Since he did not, he is not here
Right.
anymore. That's
Shout
where he was going with that comment.
Shout out to Derek Young. This Dak hate by Cowboys fans is pathetic. He's 22-10 in 2 seasons. You're not a real Cowboy fan and if you want Dak to fail. Shaking my head. Um,
Who wants that to fail?
there's a lot of people that want him to fail, or a lot of people that just think,
I don't understand. I don't understand why they want Dak to fail.
you know what? But I
Like
think
Dak is a stand-up guy. He's cerebrally smart. He's a smart guy. I mean, how many guys you know that's going to get their doctorate? Some of them don't even have their BA degree. You
Jackass.
know what
Well,
I'm saying?
actually,
So
the Hitch is actually Dak's favorite one right there, and is it Hearns that or not? Sorry, not Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup's best route is the Hitch, and I think that's probably the reason why they got that connection right there. And
but you
here's
got two guys that play the X very well with
right.
Hearns and Gallup, and I don't know if they're going to actually consider us having a number one receiver, or they're just going to play it like by committee. Now, right now, as you know, nobody has a position as far as who's on what level or who's going where. They're going to wait till training camp. They're going to battle it out, and then they'll see who they're going to start in what position. But it's kind of cool that we got those two because you almost have like compensation for if you get injured. So if one of
Right.
those two players get injured at any time in the season, you got somebody to plug in that position. And then Michael Gallup says himself he wants to play all of the positions.
Right. Yeah. And my job is not to replace Dez Bryant yet. Ricky Lee says, "Jump. The ball doesn't have to be perfectly thrown if you're serializing in jump balls." Okay.
No, but what I mean by I'm not saying perfect. What I'm saying is with the ball being placed, you have to put it in a place that okay, so if you go back and look at some of the tape where Dak was throwing the ball sometimes, it was in front. Okay, so the cornerback has his back turned to the quarterback. So
Right.
he's running towards the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the ball is hitting the cornerback in the back of the head, So Dez would have to actually try to reach over that guy to
Back.
try to get the ball,
Hmm.
which is the reason why sometimes he had to play almost defense to bat it down so it wasn't intercepted. That's
Right.
what I mean by a ball being in the right place. I'm not talking about right on his face. I'm
Yeah.
just talking about up where the defender cannot get it.
Yeah.
You got to put it where Dez can only get the ball, or whoever the receiver is getting the ball. And Tony Romo said the same thing. He spent a lot of time with Dez to get to that point.
Well, you could see, and truth be told, the majority of Tony Romo's interceptions were always going Dez Bryant's way.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's not about, and again, let me say again, it's not about trashing Dez Bryant because Dez Bryant still has skills and stuff. But Dez Bryant
Yeah.
wasn't fitting what they wanted to do with the Cowboys. They realized that, okay, that $16 million to Dez Bryant means we can't have depth on the team. And what would have been more important would have been than Dez Bryant's 800 yards would have been a tackle that could have filled in for Tyron Smith or a linebacker that could have filled in for Sean Lee. And
I just
so,
wish they I just wish they just would have been honest and would have said, "Hey, we're moving on to a different direction." Like there's
yeah,
so
they
many
handled
things
it
they could have
poorly.
said. Yeah, it's the way that they handled it. And like I said, we wouldn't have so much controversy talking about Dez if they were just honest in their assessment. All they had to do was say, "Hey, he's not the guy anymore. We
Hmm.
want to go into a new direction. We want to go with a pick your poison offense where we have a lot of great average to above average receivers. So Dak can throw the ball evenly around and not just have to force the ball to one person. Because again, when you do it like that, even when we had Witten, we were too everybody knew what we were going to do, and you don't want to be predictable like that. And I feel like we have
That
a
brings us
chance to
to a
not be
whole nother
predictable.
key. That okay, you know what? I posed the question out there earlier today. What the hell is a web back? Okay. I mean, I know what they mean it to be, but I had never heard the term web back. Have you ever heard that term before?
I have actually. It's not used very often. That's
No,
that's
but
that's that's
as Mike Fisher said,
it's
between that and
basically what Dunbar.
unicorns, yeah,
It's basically what Lance Dunbar used to be, and what we're trying to use with Tavon Austin.
right. Well, the
Normally,
question is,
normally a normally a back wide receiver type person, kind
right,
of like what Green Bay did with Ty Montgomery.
right.
You can play him as a standard running back, or you can set him out wide and run routes, little quick slant routes, just something on third down to open up the field so you can get that guy up and running for the first down.
Well, and hopefully, this is my biggest hope because I believe the Cowboys can change a lot just by changing their offense, having a little bit of mystery there. I think the Cowboys. I remember seeing it someplace and I couldn't find it, but as far as their offense goes. 75% of the time, you could predict what they were going to do down in distance almost perfectly
Oh,
because
it's been
they were
plenty of days when
so
I'm sitting on the
predictable.
couch watching the game,
Well, yeah,
and I'm sitting here like,
we could
yeah,
go
they're
ahead
going
and
to do
say we
this,
know
and then
what's
they do.
coming next, okay? And with them
Yeah.
being that predictable, I was even heard that they didn't even change the play calls, the hot routes and things like that. So when Leary goes to Denver, they know exactly the calls that Dak Prescott is making verbatim. They're not even changing red to green or anything like that. So um,
And that's crazy, man.
it
It's
really is.
ridiculous.
And of course, there's, we're going to keep it simplistic. Screw that. You need to change some stuff up because I believe that they got drank their own Kool-Aid at the end of the 2016 season and said, all we got to do is line up with this big offensive line and Zeke Elliott, and we'll just run over people. Because when I was watching All or Nothing, again, that Denver game where Zeke had 9 yards, it just looked like everybody was just like, I don't know what to do. Didn't you get that feeling
Right.
from that?
I,
It was just like, well, he's got
yeah,
nine
man.
yards. Well, okay, what's Plan B? Was there a Plan B?
They no, there wasn't. And again, they don't make adjustments, and it's uncharacteristic for Jason. Everybody knows that Jason Garrett is Mr. Conservative. He's stubborn. He's in his ways. He wants things to be one way, and he wants to keep it that way. Now, okay, whatever. If you're playing in the Pee Wee leagues, but in the NFL, it's ever changing. every season, every game, every play each team differently. And if you're not making adjustments, you're going to be stalemate. You got teams out here thinking we're soft because we don't make adjustments.
Yeah. Okay. Well, back to.
Like that game when Aaron Rodgers just came out there and was like, "All right, well, I'm just not going to wear my chin strap." Really?
Oh my
That
God.
was so
Oh.
disrespectful.
Yeah, but he knew. He knew. And see, that's where we get back to. I'm worried about defensive tackle. I really am.
Well,
With
we still
Collins
got.
again. I know Collins had a miracle recovery his rookie year from the cracked metatarsal on his right foot. Came back, played really great. Last year, not so much. Had surgery on his left foot in January. Now he's having surgery again. They're hoping to get him back before the end of training camp. But if he
I'm
breaks
looking
it
at it
again,
from an optimistic standpoint.
okay,
Um, we still got Brian Price. I mean, he did decent before he got his injury.
yeah,
He can slide into that one technique spot and do some things. We don't know what Jihad Ward can do. Let's see what he can do. Um, and I think that's what they're gunning on. They're waiting to see what those guys can do. They're waiting to see what is his name, Osborne,
yeah,
the undrafted guy. They're waiting to see what he can do. I mean, you never know. We might have
a
some
diamond in a
some
rough.
diamonds in the rough, right? We might have
Okay.
that. I mean, and I think that that's what they're gunning on right now.
Well, the other concern, of course, is safety.
Um,
I know we got your boy. I know we got your boy, Kevon. Shout out to
well,
him. He
see,
just had a baby.
yeah, shout out to Fred, brother. But the thing about Kayvon is thumper, heavy hitter, but he still has to grow into his own. And like I said, he's
Hmm.
gonna get there. But I don't. He's like Jeff Heath right now. You don't want him playing all the snaps. He's good on about
About 20, 25 plays or so. Looks like you froze up on me. But yeah, I have to agree with
20.
you. Yeah. Didn't I tell you?
You said what?
No, you froze up on me. I said,
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
sir.
no problem. You froze up, and I said probably about 20, 25 plays, and you came back, and it was about 20 plays.
Oh yeah. So basically, put him in that route, and then make sure that he's still playing special teams. That's the spot that we need him in. Now, I don't know if they're still gonna go get Earl Thomas either way, but again, I'm looking at that guy Kyle Puero that we have. That's a big guy. If they keep him at safety,
Hmm.
I heard they're trying to move him to linebacker, but no, stop moving these players. Let them play their natural positions and just go get 'em.
Well, here's the thing, because I see some people talking, especially, it amazing. Do you have Eagle fans on your page?
I got a couple of them. I had, they just fly in and be
I'm,
like, "Fly, Eagles, fly" in my comments, and
I'm
just
just
keep it.
trying to understand. Are there not quality Eagle channels out there? Because you
I
guys
don't
are
know.
always here.
The
But
Eagle Chronicle. I don't know.
I'm just looking at these comments and stuff. Um, but Earl
They just
Thomas,
love you, Mark. I think they just love you, Mark. I think that's
I
what it
don't
is.
know. I don't know why. Because their city sucks, their
They
fans
just love.
suck, their cheese steaks suck. I can't think about much of
Hey,
Philadelphia
hey,
that I like.
don't keep crapping on the Eagles, man. Philadelphia gonna come in here. I'm strong on you, bro.
That's, bring it. Bring it, Eagle fan. Listen, I've been taking it all seasons, man. Okay. They've got ones that subscribe to me that say they'd love to come on the channel. I know they do. But, it's all good. It's
they,
all
they
trash
just like
talking and football. But as far as Earl Thomas goes, the Cowboys, believe it or not, do a lot of their trades towards the middle and the end of trading camp. I forgot the number on them, but what they do is they kind of go through camp, look and see what they have, and say, okay, here's a need we can try and fill in and stuff. Now, it's not earth-shattering trades by any stretch of the imagination, but that may be the time that they look with Earl Thomas. See what we've got as far as the guys that we have that are undrafted free agents, draftees, as well as the other guys, and see, can we make it with them? I still believe we need one more, but we'll have to wait and see if that is going to be the case.
well, you already know who's out there, but they're not gonna go that route.
Yeah, well, no. Definitely not going to sign Eric Eric Reed,
Reed,
anthem protest, and Vaccaro either
which is
anthem
stupid
protest.
because you
You know,
got good
I
players just sitting out there,
see. I
just
tell you
waiting in the
what,
wings, and I'm like,
that's one of those ones where my buddy signed down in New Orleans, um,
DeMar Davis.
Demario Davis. You know, when you looked at his numbers and what he signed for $8 million a year. And we're talking about a dude that had 139 tackles last year and 5 sacks, you know, as a linebacker. You don't think we could have used him and then we could have used that draft pick elsewhere? But, you know, what do I know? I'm a guy with a day job
It
and a
would have
bit
been
of it.
nice. It would have been nice. I
Yeah.
mean, and like I said, if you would have got him, that Covington pick could have been a safety.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to die on that Earl Thomas Hill. I'm just put, listen, everybody said I was crazy last year. Well, actually, everybody says I'm crazy all the time. But I kept talking about Calais Campbell. Everybody kept saying, "Man,
Hmm.
get off the Calais Campbell, man. He sucks. He's nothing." Blah. Could you imagine if we had had?
Stacks.
Oh, because that's the problem that we have the freaking defensive tackle. Because that's what he played with with the Cardinals. They put him to defensive end. But God, if we had had him as a defensive tackle,
And oh my God, with
oh my
Irving and
God.
Lawrence, Jesus, Marion Joseph. I mean, the possibilities would have been endless. I mean, they would have been just eating quarterback patties all day, man. I'm telling you.
And to me, I'm sorry, that's still. They keep. I don't know why they don't value the one technique at all, but I'm telling you, if they had
What I tell
that
what
guy
I tell
in
you
the middle,
what I tell you about that? That one technique and the center position, they are not sexy picks. When you look at that's how
neither
the
was center,
Cowboys.
but look what it did for our offensive line.
Well, and look what it did for us. So sometimes you got to go against the grain to get what you need, and I agree with that. But what I don't agree with is them downing these lunch pail positions because they're important. Because these positions, even though they're not glamorous, they open the rest of your defense up. They open the rest of your offense up. Whether it's the offensive defensive line, you already know winning game starts in the trenches. You get your trenches right, the rest of your team gets better. Even when you have average players at certain positions, it helps them because you got that guy in the middle taking on all those blocks. You got your linebackers running free to tackle at will. And again, we already know with the whole Sean Lee thing, it helps Sean Lee stay healthy all season. How about that? Can we get a season with that?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that'd be great.
And my thing is the better Leighton Vander Esch does, the better Sean Lee has to survive this season.
Well, true, true. Same and the same thing with Jalen Smith because Jalen Smith played better with less snaps than he did playing every down. But if you had a big guy in the middle that was taking on double teams consistently, that would have been a
God, I
whole
wish
lot
we had
better.
Vita. Yeah. Oh, I wish we would have got Vita
Yeah,
there.
well, you know, that would have been nice, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. Um, any thoughts on rookie orientation? Not OTAs, orientation.
Orientation. Again, like I said, I think that what they did is really good because you're not, and I mentioned this in my channel too. You don't have these guys getting all tired and busting hamstrings and hurting their ankles and stuff because they're out there busting up against each other because they haven't played actual football since they played for their colleges. Everybody looks at,
Right.
oh, well, they've been working out and stuff like that, but they're still not technically in football
Mm-mm.
shape. Just
No.
because you're working out doesn't mean that you're in football shape. So you
Yeah.
have to ease them in. And I like what they're doing, easing them in, teaching them the playbook, letting them know what they need to do. So when the veterans come in and everybody's together, they can concentrate more on their skill rather than thinking so much and would actually make them play better. You look at what happened with Awuzie in Switzerland last year when they both had their hamstring injuries as a result of getting thrown into the fire. Like I said, we're going to have less, hopefully, have less hamstring injuries by the way that they're conducting their business
Hmm.
now. So I'm all
I
for it
agree with
right
that,
now.
and that's man, that has been a killer for us as hamstring injuries. Sandman's question is
What up,
Chris
Sandman?
Richard our head coach in waiting?
Hmm.
I was thinking defensive coordinator. I hadn't thought about
I was
head
thinking the
coach.
same thing, but I
Because
didn't.
well,
That's an
when you think
interesting
about it
thought.
though, the Cowboys never hire somebody from outside. They had Wade Phillips. They brought in Jason Garrett as offensive coordinator, made him head coach. Rod Martinelli got his spot from Kiffin. So they always kind of promote from within. I thought bringing in Chris Richard was basically getting him ready to take over for Rod Martinelli, and Rod Martinelli would start backing away. But I hadn't thought about head coach. That would
I
be,
think I mean, that's a possibility. I'm thinking that, like, first of all, they're loving Chris Richard. If you
oh,
hear what the
without
other
a doubt.
coaches are saying about Chris Richard, they are loving him to death right now. They're loving the energy that he's bringing to this team. And like I said, I know I'm gonna tell you for a fact right now, he's gonna be the defensive coordinator someday.
I think
And
next
even
year.
with that, if he does well there, he can move up to head coach. You
hmm
never know. But we'll see what happens.
Brethren, 1, 2, 3. Guess what? I don't know. What am I guessing about? Fresh Prince was decent. Okay. Um, Yeah, I'm digging Chris Richard. I'm hoping that they change the defensive philosophies. The other thing that was crazy about first things first is they were talking about the Cowboys' defense and how bad they are. But I was sitting there saying, okay, they're not the
It's
'85
schemes that are
Bears, but
different. It's the
they were
schemes that are different.
eighth in yards given up, 12th in points, 18th in turnovers. It's not exactly the worst defense in the world. I mean, am I wrong on that?
No, you're not wrong, but the problem is they were playing those young guys out of their strengths. You had them
And
playing a lot of zone. A
right,
lot of these young guys are scrappy. They are press man coverage guys, and you need to play them in that type of role. And I understand why they kept playing zone coverage for the simple fact that they were trying to protect them because they were young and they didn't think that they knew a lot. But you got to have faith in these guys and let them do them. You see that what they're good at. If I could see this, and I'm not a defensive coordinator, and I'm not nobody's defensive coordinator. Yes, I played football, but if I see this, I don't understand why they can't see this.
yeah. EB wants
Play
to,
them, play
yeah.
them, play them at their strengths, and I guarantee you will see a
Well, that's one of the
better
things I've
product.
always said about Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett always takes everybody and says, "This is the system you have to play in it," as opposed to looking at a guy's strengths and saying, "Okay, I'm gonna have to change things because I've got this guy who can play lights out doing this." It's not what I
You
normally
see,
do. I mean, Joe Gibbs is I hate to use the Redskin for example, but Joe Gibbs came from Air Coryell. Where
yeah,
they didn't know anything about a running play, and he got to Washington and realized I don't have those kind of receivers. I don't have that kind of quarterback. I got big offensive line and a running back. And changed up with the one back offense, came up with the H back, and fit the personnel to a scheme. Jason Garrett just doesn't seem to be able to do that. And I'm hoping that maybe this year that things will be perfect for him and hopefully something will go right. Um,
and that's why Orlando Scandrick got fed up because he was
yeah,
just like, okay, well, we gonna keep doing the same crap. You heard him in All or Nothing, mic'd up. He's
yeah,
like, we just gonna keep doing the same things, huh? We're not gonna switch this up.
right. And
And
knowing
and
that it's
that's why
not
he's like, you
working.
know what, just go ahead, release me, man. I ain't got time for
Yeah, well, we'll see how that works out in Washington. Unfortunately, Cowboy
this.
defensive players' careers go to die in Washington.
Yes,
Final
they do.
thought here is EB wants to know what you're thinking about as far as gambling ruling in the NFL. I don't think it's really going to change much, but I think they had.
I mean, they technically they've been doing it all along on low key. I mean, what the Vegas odds? The Vegas odds has exist over. I
forever.
mean, people
It,
have been betting. Look
what
at all these rappers and
What
stuff,
what
and
it'll
and
do
and
is it'll just kind of do away with a lot of the bookies. I mean, it's not going to change any pools that everybody else has been doing forever, or any of the parlay cards and stuff. It'll just, if anything else, make it regulated and taxed and yada yada yada. But they
the
kind of
biggest thing,
had to do this.
the biggest thing that is going to change is, unfortunately, like when players protest or when something happens,
hmm
I don't think that it's going to matter too much because they're still going to make their money because that's all they care about. Unfortunately, is making their money. They're not going to care about certain people's needs and things of that nature. So it's actually gonna cause more of a controversy from that aspect, but it is gonna make the NFL money, and that's what they care about.
Well, You know what? I think that we're actually looking at a new NFL and a new attitude. Um, Internally, when I see some of the people that have been uh, let go from the NFL and some of the things that they're doing, I think that they're just saying, damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead on making as much money as possible. I don't think you're
Yep.
going to see them trying to be the social justice characters and things like that. You know, when you look at right
No,
now,
they're not going to
some of
care.
the things that have been going on this past off season, I don't hear anything about any investigations on anybody.
Nope.
Um, and now the gambling and everything else, I think it's going to be basically how much frickin' money can we make off you. I know the personal seat license they were talking about for the Raiders. I think it's something like $60,000 and up on some of the seating and things. That's just your personal seat license, which allows you to buy. No, I think a hundred thousand. Yeah, for some it goes up to $100,000, but that's just the price for you to
That's
be able to
that's
buy
crazy.
season tickets. Now, here's the thing:
That's
after
crazy, man.
10 years, you supposedly get to be able to get a refund on that or something or other, but you're not getting any interest on that money that you're putting in there. So when you talk about how much money,
That's not an investment that I'm looking into. Or
no,
I will never be a season ticket holder. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah. So the prices.
I will RV for the rest of my life. I ain't
Hey, there you go. But I mean, I remember the first Super Bowl I went to was in Houston. The face value of the tickets were, I think, $400, and now they're $1,100. And what's amazing about it is you used to get a seat cushion that used to have a radio in it, used to have a light in it,
yeah.
used to have all kinds. I've got them. I still have the seat cushions with all the stuff that
No, I
came
seen
with
I
them.
seen yours. I seen yours.
Yeah, so I've got like 14 or so over there. My wife went to Super Bowls before we were married and stuff because it was part of her job and things. But you can look as each year goes by how they started getting thinner and how there started to be less and less. They got to the point where one year it was just a hand towel in Miami.
A little patty.
Okay, and
That's
it
what they
used to
call it, a
be
little
they would
patty.
give you flashlights, and so then this past year there's no seat cushions or anything. They had a little bag in it and had a card that said "Hold your cell phone up." So it's kind of like the prices are going up, you're getting less and less, and things like that.
It's
So it's
ridiculous,
all
man.
about the
Like,
money. Welcome to the new NFL. You're going to get the shakedown from now on when you're out there. But we as fans
and then you got to come in there with clear bags. I
with
mean,
clear bags. That's
they
right.
they don't they don't give you nothing. You don't get no type of incentives for anything anymore. It's
No,
just
you don't.
ridiculous.
But you know what? We're NFL fans, and we keep doing it. So as long as we
Hold on,
keep
hold on, hold
showing
on,
up,
hold on. Clear bags.
right there you go from the draft. Okay, yeah. Michael just held up ours from the draft too. Yeah, that's the only thing that you got given away was a clear bag. So that way we're gonna make sure you're not bringing in anything that you're not supposed to. But with that
Right.
being said, man, it is already after 10 o'clock, man. The time always flies by with everybody. E2, tell everybody where to find you.
If you hadn't already subscribed to me, it's E number two BLU Entertainment. That's where you can find me, guys.
All right, everybody. Thank everybody for subscribing to my man. He's over 1,000. Let's get him to 2,000 real quick. And thank everybody else out there because I'm actually over 23,000 now. Thanks to all you guys. I guarantee you about 5,000 of them are you Eagle fans. So I guess I need to thank you guys as well. And I see there's Clorox Bleach who's making a showing now. Clorox, you know your quarterback is dirty, man. He is dirty. Eli Manning has basically said, "Yeah, I did it." So with
Now
that
you ain't
being,
know Clorox is low key a Cowboy fan. You ain't know
is it really? Some people have said that they've seen him on different channels talking about different stuff. So I don't know what he really is. I think he just does a whole lot to try and get attention. But
that?
that's
Yeah.
what we all want, some attention. But guys,
So,
thank you as always for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this doesn't work. Hopefully, this off season will just breeze on by, and we'll be on to the regular season because I'm ready for some football right now. And I will see you guys